Okay, we'll try to keep this as a brief update on GetMyVaccine.org and a general introduction to the site. Um, First release of this site was an aggregator for available locations and slots at Walgreens and Duane Reade for COVID vaccinations nationally. The purpose was Walgreens had a genuinely unusable UI, so it was an easier tool to access open vaccine slots to book them at Walgreens. To Walgreens' credit, they responded quickly to user feedback and they updated their own UI. One of our biggest asks was address search revealing top level slot availability. So this page is great where you can, if you see that slots are available in your area, you answer a few eligibility questions, you fill out a few forms, and then it shows you the slots to book. This is a bit more circuitous than we would have liked, but it's a great turnaround and it's a short time for such a large company. So props to Walgreens for that. We're still hearing a lot of user frustration with second slot booking being required and inability to find these second slots, but we are confident that Walgreens is in earnest listening to user feedback and making updates. So this page here is a protected endpoint now, which is why we can no longer reveal slot and location information. But what is a public endpoint is just looking at availability. So I don't need to be logged in or searching a particular area to see these results. Most people have probably seen this result on the Walgreens page, appointments unavailable in red. That's because, of course, COVID vaccines are hard to come by. They're in very high demand and slots fill up quickly. Get My Vaccine wants to take you to this page where you see the green appointments available. You click on this button, that takes you to a few questions, and then you see the slot availability page to book your vaccine. So what we're doing with Get My Vaccine is just as you would as a user, we are searching for every zip code um, that we know of that Walgreens services for COVID vaccines. So we have a bot running in the background. So if I look at the zip code 05154, we'll show you what kind of results you see. All right, so in the first release of this website, we showed slots. Now we're just showing availability. And what this means is with this exact search that you can copy and paste into the Walgreens input tab, um, our bot found availability at that location within 25 miles of that location an hour ago. So the more recent the bot found that, the more likely it is to still be available, especially in dense cities. And also bear in mind that distance is, of course, a factor when traveling because we're returning a lot of results in your state. It's really just limited by the number of rows we can show. We're sorting by distance. We can also sort by recency if that's a higher priority because that gives you a higher confidence that availability is still there. All right, so if this shows an hour ago, we search that. I mean, we've already searched this, so let's go to Bellows Falls. That shows an hour ago. Jump over here, just copy and paste that in, and we see those appointments are still available, which is good. You know, Vermont doesn't have as high as a population. In places like New York, you can see that our bot detected 10 minutes ago, and now those slots are filled. So that's kind of the gist of it. It's not as intuitive as we'd like, but that's kind of the best way we can represent what we're working with. Okay, so it's not quite so easy for big cities. Let's go to New York. You can see that in New York, our bot picked up availability, which tends to happen in the early morning hours local time, in 10069. So that was picked up 2 hours ago. So our bot should be circling back to it soon to check again. But we see that appointments are unavailable, right? They're all filled. Here we are, Brooklyn. Let's see if we want to take the trip to Brooklyn. And 17 minutes ago, we have a little more faith, but knowing the city, things fill up quick, no longer available. If I wanted to drive outside of the city, let's say I was desperate to get a vaccine, and I could sort by recency here, and we can see that a minute ago, Cedarhurst, New York, 17 miles away, became available. Let's search that. Yeah, it's kind of a roundabout way that we're doing this. But look, we have appointments available. It's a 17-mile trip, realizing, particularly in New York, not everyone has a car. But it's a quick way of seeing in your state if there's availability. And be mindful that States like California and a few others, I believe, uh, it's restricted to your county, so you might want to stick within the bounds of your county. Um, so if I sort by recency, I might see something that became available a minute ago, but I'm in Oakland and I'm looking at Santa Monica, which is 330 miles away. But it just gives you a better indicator. We'd like to have more metrics after we collect a bit more data, probably over the next week or so at least, to identify any trends. Particularly interested in when vaccine slots become available in certain zip codes. We have to be mindful of how we release that information because if everybody's aware that slots open up at a certain time, it's just going to it's going to overwhelm Walgreens servers. Um, Also playing around with the idea of a Twitter bot. We kind of have that ready to go, but concerned that it'll put people who don't use Twitter at a disadvantage. Also, we tend to find a lot of availability, so we don't want this to be a spammy bot. We're going to have to fine tune some of those things. So over time, we just want to find uh, trends in the data. We're going to hold off on releasing a bot for now. And we want to make sure that the site just stabilizes. It's possible it'll get shut down. Who knows? But we hope it helps for now. And good luck in your vaccine search.